Hello, I'm NishaPandey and you're watching Prime Times News. Let's start with the headlines. U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for South and Central Asian Affairs Donald Lu arrives in Kathmandu for a two-day trip as part of a regularly scheduled visit to the region. The National Assembly endorses the Citizenship Amendment Bill. The bill forwarded to the Office of the President. The locals of Banchari Dada announced that they will not allow the Kathmandu Valley's waste to be dumped at the Banchari Dada landfill site from 17th of August. A district on the outskirts of Wuhan under lockdown, the first time the China city that saw the world's first COVID-19 lockdown has imposed such a measure since 2020, underscoring how far the country is from post-pandemic normality. And Nepal retains the same position in the new ODI ranking released today by the International Cricket Council, ICC. Now news in detail. U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for Southern Central Asian Affairs Donald Lu has arrived in Kathmandu for a two-day trip as part of a regularly scheduled visit to the region. While in Kathmandu, Assistant Secretary Lu will hand over the U.S. Secretary of State's Award for Corporate Excellence to Purna, a U.S. manufacturing company in Nepal that promotes ethical manufacturing by empowering traditionally marginalized people and survivors of exploitation. Assistant Secretary Lu will also meet with business, civil society, and government leaders, the U.S. Embassy in Kathmandu informed. He will also meet Foreign Minister Narayan Khadka. His other appointments have not been disclosed. Lu previously visited Nepal last November before MCC Nepal Compact was endorsed by Nepal's House of Representatives. This is his second visit in the last 1 year. Lu visited Nepal on a two-day visit in November 2021. CPN Unified Socialist Chairman Madhav Kumar Nepal has instructed to move forward with the spirit of changing the country and the society. In a program organized by Party School Division at Bhaktapur today, Chairman Nepal instructed the leaders and cadres of the party to start the transformation from themselves and move forward with the aim of changing the nation and the society. He said that one should sincerely dedicate himself to the nation and the people without leaving gap between theory and practice. Chairman Nepal emphasized that the past mistakes should be amended and the knowledge within should be put into practice. Nepal established the ideas put forward by the party and said that school departments will be formed in all the provinces. The National Assembly today endorsed the Citizenship Amendment Bill. After ratification from the House of Representatives, the Citizenship Bill was presented to the National Assembly, the upper house of Nepal's parliament, for deliberations. The bill has been forwarded to the Office of the President after the National Assembly endorsed the bill. Taking part in the discussions on the Nepal Citizenship First Amendment Bill 2079, along with a message received from the House of Representatives in the National Assembly meeting today, they demanded having provisions in connections to the naturalized citizenship by matrimonial relations. Beduram Bhushal stressed on the need of determining the window period in connection with naturalized citizenship through marriage. He said that Nepali daughters married to Indian nationals get Indian citizenship only after 7 years of marriage, and the same provision should apply to Nepal. Likewise, Bimala Raj Paudel said, although she was positive that the Nepali youths deprived of citizenship should get one, some provisions of this bill had to be corrected. Similarly, Bhairav Sundar Shrestha demanded that the bill should be sent to the related committee and the window period should be set for naturalized citizenship through matrimony. Today is World Hepatitis Day. Every year, 28th of July is observed as a public awareness day against hepatitis. In Nepal, up to 90% of hepatitis patients are still undiagnosed, due to which many patients end up in a complicated situation. Especially 90% of people infected with hepatitis B and 80% of people infected with hepatitis C are even infecting their relatives and friends, as they do not have much knowledge about it. Doctors state that viral hepatitis is transmitted through dirty water and dirty food, and others are transmitted through blood and physical contact. Hepatitis A and E are cured on their own. However, if proper care is not taken, it may also lead to death of the patient, informed a liver specialist, Professor Dr. Sudhanshu Kesi. Similarly, hepatitis B and C are caused when blood products enter from one body to another. Doctors say that hepatitis B is especially common in Himalayan districts. According to the statistics of the World Health Organization, 9 out of 10 people suffering from hepatitis B and C are unaware of this disease. With this, it's time for a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The locals of Banchari Dada have announced that they will not allow the Kathmandu Valley's waste to be dumped at the Banchari Dada landfill site from 17th of August. Organizing a press conference today, the Banchari Dada landfill site concerned committee announced that it will not allow the disposal of waste there from 17th of August. According to Shrawan Dhungana, the coordinator of the concerned committee, the committee announced that they would not allow garbage to be thrown because the Kathmandu metropolitan city did not work according to the agreement. They have accused that Kathmandu metropolitan city ignored the residents of Banchari Dada by looking for landfill sites in other places in the valley. The committee has also informed the Prime Minister's office and the Ministry of Urban Development about its decision. $710 more COVID cases has been confirmed in Nepal. Out of 2,541 PCR tests conducted throughout the nation, 524 people were tested positive, whereas 186 were tested positive in 2,484 antigen tests. Ministry of Health has reported that 2 more deaths have been registered due to COVID. With this, the death toll due to COVID has reached 11,962 in Nepal. Similarly, with 215 more patients recovering from COVID, the total number of cured patients have reached 9,69,219. Currently, there are 4,236 active cases being isolated at different places throughout the nation as per the ministry. Minister for Women, Children and Senior Citizens Uma Regmi has said that families and local governments have been made responsible for senior citizens. In her response to questions raised during the deliberations on a proposal to seek consideration to the amendment by the House of Representatives in regard to the Senior Citizens First Amendment Bill 2075 today, the minister said such provision was expected to have a significant contribution to the protection of the rights of senior citizens. She was speaking in a session of the National Assembly, the Upper House, today. The bill to amend the Senior Citizens Act 2006 was endorsed by the House and was sent to the National Assembly. As the minister explained, there are reports that senior citizens are subjected to abuse and violence at the hands of the children. More, the aging population is living without their children in villages as later are opting for urban life. Senior citizens are left alone in villages due to an increasing trend of out-migration of their children. She said that the respective local government has been made accountable to senior citizens who are ignored by their children. She further added that the bill aims to ensure a happy living of senior citizens within their families. It is said that the bill provides a ground that will attract laws if senior citizens are unable to lodge a complaint of being ignored by children, and the neighbors will do that. Besides, it has enabled an atmosphere for constituents a senior citizens bench at the local level, and disallow children to have the claim on the parental property without fulfilling their responsibilities to the parents, according to the minister. The meeting unanimously endorsed the proposal to consider House amendment in regard to the bill. The Development and Technology Committee under the House of Representatives has instructed the government to install towers in the buildings of government agencies to expand the service and improve the quality of Nepal Telecom. The committee meeting held today in Singadarbar directed the Ministry of Communication and the Ministry of Urban Development to make necessary standards to facilitate the implementation of BTS towers in the buildings to be constructed by various government agencies as the pressure is increasing to remove the towers placed in the houses of common citizens. The Ministry of Communication has also been instructed to submit within 15 days a clear action plan for the current fiscal year to increase the service quality and rapidly expand the service as the internal service expansion activities run by the Telecommunication Development Fund are not progressing according to the targets and expectations. In the meeting, the Managing Director of Nepal Telecom, Sunil Paudel, said that problems were being faced with the service at night in places where there is no access to electricity. He said that there is also a problem in expanding the service because there is a problem in keeping a BTS tower in private houses. The committee meeting also instructed the Ministry of Communications to inform the committee about the status of the previous instruction to complete the action plan to expand 4G services through 228 towers of telecom and also to prepare the action plan for the current fiscal year and submit it to the committee within 15 days. Nepal Stock Exchange NEPSE today increased by 15.49 points to close at 2,127.47 points. The secondary market opened at 2,111.99 points and is increased to an intraday maximum of 2,152.39 points before it plunged to 2,106.44 points. The daily turnover amount jumped to 4.97 billion, which was 3.16 billion on the previous day. 10 of the 13 trading groups added points to their indices. Manufacturing and processing, others, and non-life insurance were the losers in today's shares transactions. It's time for another short break. Please stay tuned for more news. Welcome back. Let's move on to international news. A district on the outskirts of Wuhan has been locked down. The first time the Chinese city that saw the world's first COVID-19 lockdown has imposed such a measure since 2020, underscoring how far the country is from post-pandemic normality. More than 2 years since the city was sealed off to contain what was then a mysterious pneumonia, almost 1 million residents of Wuhan's district have been told to stay in their homes and not go out unless necessary. All public transport has been stopped and entertainment venues shut for 3 days after 4 cases were found in the district on Tuesday. While so far the restrictions are contained to just the one district, the move is likely to spark concerns about the widening of curbs. Life in the pandemic-scarred city of 11 million people had largely returned to normal since its initial lockdown in 2020, which set a precedent for how Chinese authorities would handle flare-ups in other parts of the country, with a small outbreak in April and a handful of cases in the past month. Now sports updates. Nepal has retained the same position in the new ODI ranking released today by the International Cricket Council (ICC). As per the new ODI rankings, Nepal has managed to remain in the same 19th position as in the previous ODI rankings. New Zealand is in the first position, while England is in the second position in the new ODI rankings. Similarly, India is in the third position, Pakistan in fourth, Australia in fifth, South Africa in the sixth, Bangladesh in seventh, Sri Lanka in the eighth, West Indies in ninth, and Afghanistan in 10th position. With this, we have come to the end of the news. Before wrapping up, here are the headlines once again. U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for South and Central Asian Affairs Donald Blue arrives in Kathmandu for a 2-day trip as part of a regularly scheduled visit to the region. The National Assembly endorses the Citizenship Amendment Bill, the bill forwarded to the Office of the President. The locals of Banchari Dada announced that they will not allow the Kathmandu Valley's waste to be dumped at the Banchari Dada landfill site from 17th of August. a district on the outskirts of Wuhan under lockdown. The first time the China city that saw the world's first COVID-19 lockdown has imposed such a measure since 2020, underscoring how far the country is from post-pandemic normality. And Nepal retains the same position in the new ODI ranking released today by the International Cricket Council, ICC. That's it for tonight. Thank you for watching Prime Times News.